Hello, what is up, demons? Today we're playing a video game. It's called Wall Street Raider. You're a rich man in a bad world. You play as John Q. Ace. There's John Q. Ace. And you're a rich man. You got to make Wally Raider broke, Godlot Roger broke, Gordon Gekko broke, Tony Stark broke. That's what you want. That's the goal. You can make the goal whatever you want. That's what I do. There's something about like turns that happens, don't really understand that. It seems to never be a factor again after that, so I don't know. I'm not a super big expert on the whole stock market thing, but I'll try and play pretty smart. They're gonna end tight money policy, lower rates. It means the market is probably gonna spike a little bit from where it is. A bit more spending, a bit less saving. Now, we could cheese the game. This is a common play right at the beginning. Is to wait 1 month and then put all your money into Bitcoin futures and just keep adding leverage. You can usually get to about 100 billion that way. It's a very powerful mechanic because, in my opinion, the game would work better if it started on like what is the in-game equivalent of like April 1st, right? But Bitcoin goes from 94,000 to about 500,000 pretty consistently within the first 6 months, and Ethereum goes from about 2,300 to about 10 grand pretty consistently the first 6 months or so. Now this game on the back end, I try not to click around too much because it passes time, but the game on the back end is it's a very old game from the 90s. As far as I can tell, don't even have graphs, much less information density on your screen. Everything's in different places. It's the kind of game that you'd probably want to use a notebook when you play. So they've done a lot for the user interface here in this new version, and that's pretty much the extent of the changes. There's some updates as far as like the random events, short story stuff that can happen. You can see in the upper left that it takes place in the year 2027 as opposed to in the 90s. So, knowing that, we know that Bitcoin's gonna go up. We know that the economy is kind of a guessing man's game, though. Wheat is pretty consistent. Gold and silver are gonna go up from here. Oil, I think according to the game's manual, has a price that's normally about $75. So this will probably go down, and the stock index, it only goes up, right? So you can pick different banks. I can't really tell why you would pick anything but the best bank. You can look at I guess you can't look at a list. So this is one of the limitations of the game. A lot of these types of screens, it's like you got to type it in. Like JP Morgan Chase, you gotta But like they're both AAA, so what we're gonna do is not that apparently. Silver would probably be good to buy. Commodity trading is also turned off during this one, probably because they're gonna spike. So we also know the stock market is gonna probably go up a little bit. It's a good time for software. Looks like you can kind of imagine the size of the market segment to represent its market cap, and the greenness to represent its growth. So steel's shrinking. Market cap and all the business stuff in this game kind of works interesting. Not necessarily the hugest fan, but really it's really this game from the 90s with like graphs added and like nice UI stuff like this. The gradients though are kind of an interesting choice. Kind of makes you wonder who made that choice, you know? But moving on, not a huge fan of the font either. I think that it's not the most legible thing, not the best choice for things like that, not the best choice for down here, but whatever. Let's check out biotechnology. I like to look for ones that I'm heard of. Yeah, I can't say with good faith I know of any of those, their names. Yeah, sorry for the dead air. It's just like a lot of options. I think the price to net worth makes a lot of these not great options. This guy's got not much as far as the market segment. It looks like I got no fucking clue. What am I talking about? He's like fourth. So, see, I'm making stuff up. Planned capacity growth. This guy's grown aggressively. The capacity growth in this game is interesting. It claims that your income is directly tied to your business assets value. It's a weird thing that they have going on here. Basically, it's optimal to shrink your business assets and increase them at different times. So I'm not buying any of these. These guys are a little bit more reasonable. Twitter, not traded. I'm feeling Alibaba AI, you know? I think they're even down a little bit. So now we gotta do some weird stuff. Go buy. Then we're gonna get this pop up. Type in Baba. No. If you acquire directly or through companies you control over 5%, well, we're not going to be able to afford that. Typically, it gives you a max that you're able to buy that is a bit over twice what you currently have in your bank account, and that's because you can usually get twice that in leverage from your bank. In my case, that would be JP Morgan Chase. I don't want to do that. You can only buy in whole percentages though. So this is not a game for like a smaller stock trader. The developer said that he's going to kind of include that in an upcoming like expansion or DLC kind of thing. It was a feature of the original, but I think it was, you know, you have to balance the game a lot different. We're dealing in millions in this game. So about the minimum we could, 1% for 611 million, just to give you an idea of the scale of the game. About 20 million shares. So this is a screen that we can use to look at a lot of companies. It's a bit overwhelming of a screen right now. It's helpful to help find stuff that kind of in your price range. It is bit of an overload. Gives you some extra information at a glance though, so it's also useful enough the management is competent. Yikes, earnings per share real bad. Operating profit negative 9 billion. See, sometimes the math in this game is really confusing to me though. Like, where does this come from? Negative 9 billion. Have $500 million in business assets. Yeah. We'll open up the breakdown. It's a lot going on, and it's hard to parse. It's got a lot there, but the numbers, see, now we went back a screen and all these numbers are different. So there's some, I don't know if you guys have seen the movie, but there's some funny games afoot here. Yeah, I can't quite understand. Really, because all those numbers just changed. They're looking a lot. Seems almost random, isn't it? Unless the calculations are changing so rapidly. And you'll notice as we click through different tabs, it progresses the day little by little in like fifths or something. Risky game playing Barnes & Noble, I reckon. Daewoo Motors, 1,885% compared to net worth. Can we short this stock? Let's see. No publicly tradable shares. I should have read that, probably. Not traded. No wonder it's valued so high. Isuzu's got a dividend. That's pretty nice. Let's buy some Isuzu. Let's type in their name. I'm not gonna take it over, don't worry guys. 3%. Oh, shoot, I didn't read. How much over normal are you willing to pay? For a tender offer at 20% above the current market price of a Suzu, it will only be financially feasible to acquire 2% of the outstanding shares. Acquiring that amount may still cause you a liquidity problem that may lead to forced asset sales. Your financial advisors suggest proceeding with caution in making the tender offer. Need to borrow 738 million? Hell no, I ain't doing that. Pay 11 million legal fees for it to fall through. Okay. I ain't paying that much. So we can see our net worth is increased. See the y-axis. Could mislead you, we'll just say. We also have the option to start a startup. You need at least 100 million in capital. The smart thing to do when you do that is come here and see what some of the smallest ones are. So if you're on a budget, what can you really make your mark in? The green ones, the brighter green ones, are going to be more viable to buy new business assets, which is a little bit easier, a little bit less friction than buying out assets from another company in the same industry. But when you're shrinking like steel is right now, your board typically won't let you buy new business assets due to low demand in the industry, and so they would rather you like shift demand from one company to another. So you're purchasing someone else's like division in Asia, or division, whatever. I think that office equipment is pretty good industry. I'm not really familiar with. Wow. Okay. How much is this guy worth? Market cap 2 billion. Wow. 100 million isn't going to make a huge mark. If we look at engineering and construction, what are some of the smallest companies here worth? $1 billion. I'm kind of liking this engineering and construction industry more. So let's try making a business in the engineering and construction industry. Find the option here. Need 100 million. Let's put in 190. Jacobs Engineering Group sounds good. Do I want to change the stock symbol? No. United States sounds good to me. 19 million. Additional startup costs. I'll elect myself as CEO. Increase our R&D a little bit. Thing happening. Hamza has some assets for sale. Let's buy a little bit. It's okay. I think that means something. I don't know. It reads like it's a bad thing, and that's over here on the assets side. So I don't know business that well, at least not this scale, definitely. So yeah, let's go back to back to here. You can see it's pretending like we never were a billionaire, which is interesting because we definitely were at one point. It's acting like we're better off than we maybe had started, but we're not. A very strong credit rating, no debt, tax liability of 0. Let's let the game run for a little bit. No. We're gonna buy futures on Bitcoin. That's gonna be a lifeline for us. What the fuck is going on? Okay, we're just gonna wait for that to go up. This is crazy to see. It goes up, I assure you. Let's pause it there for a moment. Bitcoin futures were up 35 billion. Remember, we started the game with 1 billion. So Jacobs Engineering Group lost some money. Our pre-tax operating margin on its core business sales was 25%. No cash flow difficulties. Bada bing, bada boom. Surely Bitcoin will keep going up for us. So we can look at our money. Just keep on driving up that price a little bit before we sell out everything. Unused line of credit. Let's buy some futures in this. That'll be good, that'll be good. That'll be good. Surely this can't burn us. We're gonna go to this screen and quickly toggle back between them. Yes. Oh my gosh. Net profit. Let's sell our Ethereum, I suppose. My goodness. It's not true. It can't be true. Alright. Well, now I don't know what happened. I'll be square with ya. That's some crazy shit we just went through. The price of those assets will go back up. See, it's already largely recovered back in the... What the hell is this game? See, the simulation on these things are kind of crazy. I'm feeling comfortable selling our Bitcoin. I'm thinking we'll take the 35 bill. And then keep waiting on the Ethereum. Alibaba. Losing money on that. Earnings per share is way up though. Got a lot of debt. Fair enough. Is how it is sometimes. They're subsidiary of Yahoo? Yikes, Yahoo is doing pretty bad. Looks like lost a lot there in February. How much of Alibaba do they have? 25 billion. I wonder if I could buy Alibaba off of them. Market value 9.35. Alright, well let's try and buy some Alibaba off of them. Yahoo. %. Formal buyout. 15%, man, come on. $10 billion for it. Alright. Hopefully this impacts Yahoo negatively. We want to turn on autopilot. Management menu. This game's UI is pretty insane. Management menu. Let's go in. Here we go. We want to fire the management. Start doing well. I swear, you can't go wrong. What can they do? Oil's pretty low. See, I told you. Look how much it dropped in that first month. Yeah, oil's pretty low. I can see it ticking up to 100, but maybe I'm like a bit biased because I'm just remembering the Iran war pretty well right now.